and then, of course, and it would be remiss if I didn't mention this, most people shouldn't get either. Most people, and not Richard, because Richard wanted, he was doing music recording and photography. He said, I'm retired, I do a lot of stuff. And he wanted to do a lot of high-end computing. But for most people, a computer, that laptop, is for surfing the internet, getting email, the kinds of things you do on an iPad, maybe running a game occasionally or looking at a movie. For those people, Chrome OS is probably the right choice. This is Google's alternative. Chrome, you can get a Chrome desktop, but most people get Chrome laptops. They call them Chromebooks. Google makes them, but many other companies make them. Almost all the same companies that make Windows machines take a lower-end version of their Windows machine and make it a Chromebook. They're more secure than either Windows or Mac by a long shot. They're simpler because they're not a full general-purpose operating system. They can't do as many things, although you can run Android apps, so there's a pretty good selection of apps available on Chromebooks. I think for most people, I was just talking to my daughter yesterday. She's a senior in college doing her thesis right now. And she has a Windows machine. She's had Macs. In fact, all through high school, she had Macs because that's what I set her up with. But for almost all of her college career, she's been using a Chromebook. And she loves it. She said, I don't have to worry about backup. Everything's on Google Drive. I do everything on Google Drive, which means word processing. She's writing her thesis in the Google word processing app. Doesn't have to worry about losing it. It's automatically on Google Drive. She said, I'm worried because I also use the college cloud, and I have stuff stored there. When I graduate, I have to take it off of there. I said, that's not a problem. We'll pay $2 a month, and we'll get another 100 gigabytes, or is it 200? I think it's 200 gigabytes of storage on Google Drive. You're already using that. We'll move it to Google Drive. All your stuff will be there. Doesn't have to think about backup. Doesn't have to think about viruses. Doesn't have to think about security. If something goes wrong, they have a feature on Chromebooks called Power Wash that's basically a complete reset, gets you right back. And because you're using your Google account, you log into your Google account, it's all there. It's all set up, all the stuff that you had before. There's a lot to be said for that. If you don't know you need a Windows machine or a Mac, if you're not Richard and I'm going to be doing music recording, I really would look at a Chromebook. I think most people would be well served. It's less expensive, more secure. We don't talk about power. It doesn't have a lot of RAM or, processors tend to be kind of anemic because you're not doing anything that needs power. You're just surfing the net. You're using Chrome. The more I think about it, the more I really want to steer people in that way. Now, if you're Richard and you're saying, I need to do this and I want to get a Mac, I would say probably, get a Mac if he has an iPad, he likes his iPad. But I honestly, that's a personal choice that isn't driven by technology. Mac OS, Windows 10, very comparable. I think Microsoft's done a bang-up job with Windows 10. Leo LaPorte, the tech guy. Let's take a break, come back with more right after this.